Hi there guys, welcome to this review of Reichbusters Project Vril. Reichbusters is set in an alternative World War II. The Nazis have discovered a mysterious source of power they call Vril, which they're attempting to use to aid their cause and win the war. It's up to the Reichbusters to stop them. They're a ragtag group of allied forces from around the globe who are teaming up to stop the Nazis harnessing the power of Vril. The game can be played either as a one-off mission or as a campaign, where the actions of one mission directly affect the next. For the most part, players will use their turns moving, attacking enemies, claiming objectives and keeping as quiet as possible as they attempt to make their way through the map and escape. There's a sound mechanic in the game which can seriously hinder the progress of your team, but the Reichbusters have plenty of tricks up their sleeve as they work together to achieve their goal. The game includes a rulebook, a mission book, a huge amount of miniatures and various cards that orchestrate the flow of the game. The game also includes a vast amount of components, tiles and tokens, many of which can cause the mission to play out very differently when played a second time and add huge variety to the game. The game was funded in November 2018 on Kickstarter and started to fulfill about a month ago. If you like this review, please consider liking and subscribing. This review is for the core box only, but if there is demand for the other expansions, I will certainly look at them another time. So what we've got here is an ultra simplistic view of what a game might look like. I've chosen to do it with one Reichbuster just to make things simple, and I've chosen Claudine. Now, if we look at Claudine, we can see she's got a dashboard here. She has two weapons, a knife with the precise keyword and a machine gun with burst and unreliable. She also has an ability called Vengeance. On her card, she's got some more information, which is basically a bit of backstory for her. So what she's going to have to do is she wants to enter this door, collect the objective and leave. Now we have a token in here, which is basically a spawn point for any enemies that we may come up against. But first of all, she's going to go ahead and try and open this door. Now this is a level 1 noise door. If you backed the Kickstarter and chose the door upgrade, that door will look like this. There's level 1, 2 and 3 doors. And you can tell which level they are based by the number of lights on there. But she's going to go ahead and try and open this door. Now level 1 door means that she has to roll 1 noise dice. And she gets 1 noise, just 1 noise. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn over this card. And it's going to say, oops, discard 1 card. Okay, now we're starting with 2 cards. She starts with 2 starting cards anyway. And I'm going to choose that she's going to lose Angel of Death. Now, on the noise card, there's a threshold of 6. And had we rolled over that with our noise dice, it would have said, alert enemy units immediately attack. If they cannot attack, they move. This is not an activation. But because we didn't break the threshold, we don't have to worry about it. Okay, so this door is now open. And we have a spawn point in here. Now, normally when this door is open and we're visible, this would immediately spawn. Now, there's a way of doing that. There is a deck of cards for the mission that will tell you exactly what you need to spawn for this go. Now, we're not going to bother with that right now. We're just going to automatically spawn 2 enemy soldiers. And they're going to immediately be suspicious. For my second activation, I'm going to draw 2 cards. Now what I can do is any abilities I've got here or anything that I've got in my hand right now, I can use them if I want to. Now I am going to use that, so I'm going to use the Vengeance ability, which means that once per turn she can make a move if it brings her into melee combat, which it does. So she's going to go there. And I'm also going to play a card. She's a lady. Make a +2 lethal melee attack on 2 enemy units. So, because of my precise key, because of my weapon card here, I roll 2 dice and I get a +2 for this ability. So that's 4 dice. So I get to do that on both of these enemies. Now let's say, for the sake of it, that these enemies have a threshold of 3 wounds. Also on the card, I get to take 2 green dice, which help you in your own saving rolls should you need them. Okay, so let's take on these guys. So I'm rolling 4 black dice and I'm choosing to attack this guy first. Now I've got way more than I need. Now I did get this symbol when rolling that, and what that symbol means is that it explodes, so that gives an opportunity to roll another black dice. Now I don't need to, and it was a blank, so that's fine. Interesting though, because of the precise keyword, those blanks turn into an automatic single hit. Now, so that's our first guy done, so that's that. We're also going to roll our 4 dice against the second guy. And there you go, easily. It's probably the best roll of my life actually, 12 wounds. So that kills him as well. Now, because on our precise tile there, that white symbol there indicates how much noise is created while taking action. It's actually a 0, so no noise was made. Both of these guys are dead, and this tile can now disappear. Okay, so now this is her turn over. There is no enemies on the board to make a move. So now it reverts back to her. She's going to attempt to pick up this dossier, and that is a level 2, so she has to roll 2 of these dice now. So let's see what we get. Okay, so that's 4 noise in total. So let's see what the effect of that is. We have got snafu. There's no effect. However, there was a threshold of 3 and we've hit 4. So the threshold effect is make the nearest non-suspicious room suspicious. Now, we've only got an entrance and exit, so there's no other room, so there is actually no effect. So we're incredibly lucky there. So she has now picked that up as her first activation. Now she's going to try and open this door. So she's going to roll 1 more noise dice, and she rolls a blank. We'll turn it over anyway. Add 1 dice to your total with a threshold of 4. So we need to avoid anything silly here. Okay, and it's a 1. So we're absolutely fine. The door is open. She escapes. Now that is an ultra simple version of how the game works. Now what should happen when you're spawning enemies, you'll draw one of these spawn cards, and it will tell you what you need to spawn. So level 1 would have been B, and that B refers to a mission card that you've got for the missions in the game. If we'd have taken any wounds for enemies, we would have turned these cards. So it has effects such as roll 2 noise dice. It has another effect such as you have a hand limit of 5 at the end of this turn, discard any cards over this limit. Or knocked back, which means you cannot play any of a certain type of card, and that kind of thing. Now Claudine has 12 cards in her hand, as do all of the Reichbusters. And some of them, as you discard them, they cannot be played again. We shall have a noise track here which shows the different type of cards that need to be turned based on the status of the game. So after a certain threshold, the guards and enemies will become more alert and will start to use this deck, whereas previously we used this one. There's also some missions which take away this portion, and the mission ends once you hit that threshold. Now the game has a huge amount of components, so there's lots and lots of tokens for items that you can pick up. There's lots of these keyword skills that many of the Reichbusters can have. There are various tokens for taking wounds on enemies. There are special ones for doors. There are all of our different spawn point enemies. There really is a lot. And all of those add a huge amount of variety into the games. There's also Loads of map tiles. The maps can be set up very differently. Really adds to the potential for homebrew gaming and making your own stuff up. There's a ton of miniatures in the game, so if I show you a few of the heroes. In terms of board games, these are as good as I've ever seen. They really are excellent. So that's two of the heroes. If I show you this huge Vril Panzer, in fact for scale, I'll show you him against one of our heroes. Really amazing. And then we've got some more of our nasty enemies. But component wise, the game is excellent. Really superb, top notch. In terms of the rulebook, all of those keywords I was mentioning appear in the back of the rulebook. So you just need to cross-reference the keywords with the information that's here. Now there are a lot of them, but having said that, if you're playing with one Reichbuster, you will learn most of those keywords. And if you, like me, in the times of lockdown, are playing missions where you've got 4 Reichbusters, it can become quite confusing going back and forward with all the keywords, but I didn't find it too much of a bad thing. I'm used to playing a lot of Warhammer anyway, so referencing a lot of different things on different cards in the rulebook and that sort of thing. But all in all, I love the game. I love the components. I think this Weird War 2 setting is really, really good and adds a lot to the game. The noise mechanic it's such a blessing and a curse at the same time. It can absolutely go your way every time and maybe not, you know, but it really does bring variety and changing it in the game. Some missions you can play through, it could be an absolute breeze, everything goes great. The next mission you play, you hit a stone wall within the first couple of turns and it makes things difficult. But I really am enjoying the game. So I've played most of the scenarios. Again, I have played them all solo and I can't wait to get this to the game group when we finally get out of lockdown. But I highly recommend this game. It was a Kickstarter game. I'm not sure if it will be coming back. But if you are able to get your hands on a copy, I definitely recommend it. There are a couple of issues in the game, a few typos and that kind of thing, but there is an FAQ coming from Mythic Games in the next week or so, so we look forward to that just to assist wherever it may be a problem. However, having said that, this game you can absolutely get on and play it. You will be referencing the rulebook and the mission guide quite a lot, but it all adds to the gameplay. So it's 2 thumbs up from me. I'm loving Reichbusters, and thanks very much for watching. I'll see you later.